Welcome back to Fast RC, buddy. My name is Ryan. Today's episode of RC Weekly, we have new releases from Reefs and Kyosho. We got a couple models we need to talk about that might be getting discontinued, and of course cover the hottest sales in RC, so stick around. I'll see you on the other side of the intro. Alright, and first up from Reefs RC, we have the XP10 Plague Founders Edition that was just announced this last week, and it looks like Reefs is coming out finally with their own crawler kit. And from watching the video that they released, it looks like they're aiming for basically a fully spec'd out rig right out of the box. Biggest thing that I at least thought was intriguing from my limited experience with crawlers is the steering radius that this thing has. Apparently the wheels are able to get to around like 60-degree steering angle, which I thought was pretty cool, and I guess is one of the unique features of this rig, along with it being basically a fully spec'd out crawler and coming with portal axles, but still having a very low slung chassis. You kind of get like the best of both worlds with ground clearance and center of gravity being lower. Nonetheless, like I said, I don't have too much experience with crawlers, but this one looks like a pretty crazy crawler, or like crazy capable out of the box. I'm sure all the other big channels that cover RC crawlers are going to be way more in depth on this and do some really in-depth reviews. But information for you guys, this Founder Edition is available for pre-order on the Reefs RC website for $13.99 or $1,400. And if you do pre-order it, they, at least according to the video, said that they'll inscribe it for you. so they'll go ahead and put your name on it or whatever name you give them, which I thought was kind of cool. Kind of an interesting feature. And I think, if I read this right, there's only going to be a limited number of pre-orders too. I thought it said like 250 somewhere. So correct me if I'm wrong on that in the comments, but pretty cool to see something new from Reefs RC. Let's go ahead and get to the next update. All right, and next up from Kyosho, looks like they're releasing some new versions of their current Mini Zs, in particular the MR04 and the MA020 all-wheel drive platforms. So not necessarily like new vehicles, but new bodies coming out. So for the MA020, it looks like there's going to be a new rally body, the Lancia Delta Monte Carlo Rally, and then they're also going to have a Celica GT4 turbo body, which is coming new. I think that's new, at least it's new on like Amain's website. But these next five I do know are new and were first shown at that conference from like a week or two ago. But this is going to be the MR04 platform, so not a new platform, but the bodies are new. So we got the Nuremberg Mercedes GTS body on here. We got a 1991 Mazda race body. We got another 1979 Mazda Savannah RX-7 body, and then the last couple here, we got a 1979 Mazda Savannah body, RX-7 body again, just different colorway, green. And then this last one here, we have a Porsche 962C Coupe race body. Just thought I'd put it out there. So not new models, but just new bodies coming out. If you're into the Mini Zs, let's go ahead and get to the next update. And next up, going with Traxxas. So those price hikes that I talked about last week, it looks like they're now in effect, at least at Amain Hobbies. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. I covered it last week pretty, like maybe too in-depth. But anyways, I'll go ahead and flash a list up one more time just so you guys can see it. There's tons of models that are going up in price, anywhere from like 5% all the way out to like 28%. But like I said, check out the list. Those prices are now live at Amain Hobbies. Let's go ahead and get to the next update. And next up from Spektrum, looks like they're releasing some new transmitters today. And first announced today, and looks like we're getting a DX Rugged Plus, and the other one is the IX SR Plus. Big selling feature here is they are now coming with dual protocol compatibility. So for your DSMR and SLT protocols, basically making it, from what I understand, more expandable and able to control more vehicles with receivers of different protocols. Let me know if I get that right. But good news to see. Looks like the DX Rugged Plus is coming in at $279.99, while the higher end model, which is the IX SR Plus, is $699.99 on Horizon Hobbies. You guys want to check that out. Always nice to see new transmitters, and I'm always, I don't know, kind of thinking, I used to have like an old Airtronics N12, since sold it, but I don't know, I wonder someday if I need to get another transmitter, because as you can see behind me, I got like a whole wall of them. So never hurts to get some good transmitters. Let's go ahead and get to the next update. All right, guys, and we're back to Discontinued Watch. All right, So, Discontinued Watch, we're going to touch on a couple vehicles. One that I talked about last week, potentially being on Discontinued Watch, but I did not cover it in the news section, which is different this week. So, first up, and probably the most important one, and the one I'm really like keeping my eye on here, is the Losi Promoto, Supermoto, and the other Losi Promoto that's on sale. The reason why is because those have gone on sale for the 40th anniversary Horizon Hobby sale. But the big thing that I look at here, if you're new to my channel, I look at the percentage discount, and in general, especially from Horizon Hobby products, that's Losi, Arma, and Axial, when you see a 30% discount, that's when I kind of start to get worried and just, keep my eyes out for potentially being discontinued. So these Promotos, if I'm going to flash the graph up on the screen, these are at their lowest price we've ever seen them, especially the Supermoto, which was like the more expensive model of all of those. This is absolutely the lowest price we've seen at $449.99 on sale. It's 30% off. So like I said, big discount for that vehicle. It's the lowest price we've ever seen it. So that is officially on Discontinued Watch. Doesn't mean it's discontinued, but we're going to be watching the next couple months to see if that actually does go away, along with the other Promoto that's on sale. And the other thing that kind of tips me off to it is on the Horizon Hobby and Tower Hobbies, they have a massive Pro Line clearance sale, and if you go thumb through it, a lot of Promoto parts that are on like deep discount right now. Wheels, tires, you name it, Promoto parts are like big time on sale right now. So kind of interesting. I don't know. I really like the Promoto. I think it's a cool vehicle. Obviously I don't have one, but I'd be kind of sad if it went away. I thought when it came on the scene, it was really, I don't know, it's just a really interesting motorcycle, especially, just well executed. Anyways, that's it for that one, but we do have some other models we need to talk about, so let's go ahead and get to it. The next one that I want to hop over to is going to be Element. So Element, I noticed yesterday that the Enduro 12, so there's three of them, the Enduro 12 Bushido, the Ecto, and the Sendero are on 40% discount right now, down to $119.99. So like I said, 40%, huge discount. Now, Team Associated is a little bit different. So Element being a part of Team Associated doesn't, just because you see like a big discount like that, doesn't necessarily mean that it's being discontinued. Usually that 30% rule, I kind of apply that more to Horizon Hobby, but Team Associated is kind of different. Like, we'll see a lot of their stuff go on like really deep discounts and potentially like go away, and just stay discounted forever. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and get the Team Associated. So like I said, those Enduro 12s are like on Discontinued Watch. We'll be watching those over the next couple months. And speaking of that, let's go to Team Associated. So like I said, Team Associated doesn't, just because they're deep discount doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be discontinued, but definitely worth a look at, and for the possibility they're going away. So looking at Team Associated, this is going to be a giant list, so I'm not going to go through all of these, but there's a couple that I want to highlight. So drag race car kit, that's been 40% off for like a year now, but so we'll ignore that one. There is the MT12 Plus Lux, which just popped up on the list this week for 40% off, but I feel like I've seen that on sale before, and it's been around a while. But here's some new ones. This is the whole point of this. So like these SR27, so this is like the Mini Z competitor from Team Associated. These have seen their lowest price drop for like 2025, or at least for as long as I've been tracking vehicle prices. And so I'll put the graphs up on the screen so you guys can see it. You can clearly see on the line graph, these are absolutely at their lowest price so far. Looking about that 30% range for the model that includes, that does not include the battery, so 33% off. And then the other model that does include the battery set, it's just under 30%. So like I said, we're not sure if it's going to be discontinued, but this is the lowest price we've seen for SR27s, like period. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going away, but we got our eyes on it because we're seeing such a deep discount. So kind of cover two birds with one stone with potential discontinued models and current sales. So I won't cover all this in the current sales, but just thought you guys should know about it because there's like some really crazy discounts on some of the stuff right now. Anyways, that's all I got for Discontinued Watch. We'll keep an eye on all this stuff. Let's go ahead and get to the sales. All right, we're going to keep this very short and sweet because there's not a whole lot going on for sales other than what I've already covered with the Losi Promoto, Supermoto, the regular Promoto MX, and we talked about the Bushidos being on clearance, or they're not clearance sale, but 40% off. Not the Bushidos, but the Enduro 12s, And then we already covered a bunch of team associated stuff in the SR27. So first one we're going to go here is Arma. It's really going to be the only one that I cover for at least this current sales section. And they have had some models that have been on sale now for clearance sale for the last like couple months, it feels like, because these are discontinued models. And so those prices are falling a lot. So we will cover these real quick. We have the Arma Fury 2-wheel drive Mega 550s, which are on sale. We got the red and the blue versions. The red one is down to $135.99, while the blue one is $140.99, 35 and 32% off roughly. And then we have the Arma Vortex 2-wheel drive Megas, which are on sale for $147.99 for the, looks like the purple or the orange version, and then of course the purple version also is on sale for $147.99. So those, like I said, those have been on clearance sale. They're going to probably continue to go down in price until they're all sold because they are discontinued. So if you're interested in that, from a price perspective, not too bad. The lowest, I'll just heads up for you guys, the lowest I've ever seen the Arma Fury 2-wheel drive Mega was 100 and, gosh, was it 130 or 120? I think we'll see on the, you'll see it on the graph. I think it was like 130 was the lowest price. So we're getting very, very close to like rock bottom price if you're interested in that truck. So that's all I got for that. Let's go ahead and get scratching it. All right, welcome to my favorite section of Scratch and Dent. So guys, we're gonna change up Scratch and Dent a little bit here because I wanna try to respect your time a little bit, and I don't wanna read through every single one of these because a lot of these get really repetitive every week. So I'm gonna start focusing on just the new stuff going forward. And you know, if stuff disappears, you know, it'll disappear. But new stuff I do keep track of, and I'll make sure you guys know about it. So we got for Tower Hobbies, Scratch and Dent, there's lots of good deals in here. And like I said, I'm not gonna cover all of these because I've covered a lot of them already. But one quick reminder to take advantage of Tower Hobby Scratch and Dent, you're going to need to be a Super Saver Club member, so keep that in mind. But the new ones on the list for this week that we need to talk about is going to be the Losi Sprint cars, which I saw were new on the list, and looks like we got the green version, which is the non-battery and charger included, coming in at $269.99. Then we got the red one here that includes battery and charger, which is $319.99. Other than that, that is, and I think that is actually, take that back, there is one more new one, I believe, and we got the 1/8 Infraction 3S 4x4 on sale here for $319.99. I believe that is the last of the new stuff. Yes, looks like it. So 3 new vehicles on Scratch and Dent. If you guys want to check these out, you can find these at Tower Hobbies. Let's go ahead and get to Amain. Alright, and next up we're going to do Amain Scratch and Dent, and we're going to change up this section a little bit too, with respect for your time. We're going to cover only the models that have like the biggest sales discounts. I'm thinking probably anything 10% or above. Of course, if you want to see the entire list that I got, you can go to fastrc.net, where I keep my dashboard updated with the latest list of Scratch and Dent from Amain Hobbies, along with all your like price history updates for the specific models. If you want to check that out. But like I said, we're going to keep this list short because this, I'm not going to lie, this list is huge. There's tons of stuff. Of course, you could always go to Amain Hobbies, just check out Scratch and Dent stuff there. But let's take a look at the list, the biggest discounts. So first up, we have the Arma Vortex 2-wheel drive Mega 550, which is on sale for $143.99. That kind of goes in line with the clearance Vortex, so they're all like the same price right now. Going down in price, that's for sure, 24%. And then behind that, we got the Kyosho Phaser MK2. This is the Toyota Celica GT. Has now reduced in price 15% down to $236.99. Pretty good deal there. Got a Kyosho MRO 4-wheel drive Mini Z for $165.99. Just about 12.5% off. On those cars, you don't really see those get that cheap. And one pro tip for you guys on the Kyosho stuff, I believe you can use the monthly discount promo codes that they got. So if you want to take like an extra $15 off of this, get it down to $150. Not bad. Next up, we got the LMT 2.0 Gravedigger. This is the green version for $659.99, 12% off. That's not a bad deal for that. Although I've been hearing there's like axle issues, so beware. And the last one here, we got the Arma Vortex 223S for $332.99, 10% off. But like I said last week, if you want to get a really cheap Vortex 223S, you can go to Tower Hobbies and score a huge deal for $250. So that's all I got and all I'm going to cover for the Scratch and Dent for Amain. Like I said, you can take a look at the entire list at fastrc.net, or you could just go to Amain Hobby and check out the whole list there. But if you want to see the percentages and the math and stuff, go to my site. Anyways, that's all I got, guys. I hope you guys got something out of this episode, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy, guys.